This session will cover time period from 20,000 years ago forward in time to the present. We are looking at the first panel in this project. When we start off at about 20,000 years ago, we will be at the end of the last glacial maximum. That's a point in time when the last glacial advance period has reached its maximum, and there are glaciers all over most of the land masses in the northern hemisphere. These glaciers have accumulated lots of ice. Accordingly, the sea level curve here shows that at that point in time the sea level was running 120 meters below today's value. Also, temperature at that point in time was running about 8 degrees below today's temperature. As we go forward in time, sea levels will slowly rise because temperature is slowly rising. Now the graph here has been stretched out compared to the previous panel, so it looks like sea level and temperature rise slower than the last one we looked at. But that's really not the case. This rise, which is going to take place in maybe 8,000 years, is really steep compared to the gentle slope we had when things were getting cold. So please keep that in mind. So we'll continue advancing in time. We actually came to an interesting point here. This is called the Younger Dryas, when for some reason the Earth decided to get colder again and glaciers decided to advance again, and that's why temperatures started dropping. As you can see here, the sea level rise, which should have been going crazy because of the rising temperature, actually leveled off. This actually continued to happen even though carbon dioxide bumped up just a little bit. Now we'll continue going forward because after maybe 1,000 years the Younger Dryas has reversed itself and the Earth started getting warmer again. This period of time, as you can see, took a couple thousand years, but it was a significant event in Earth's recent climate history. Scientists are not sure why the Younger Dry has happened, but the best assumption is that it had something to do with a change in the Gulf Stream. Now here at around 11 to 12,000 years ago we've arrived at basically our modern climate levels. We're on average at today's temperatures. Sea level is still quite low. We're back in time 11,000 years ago and sea level is still running at maybe 40 meters below where we are today. Carbon dioxide is slightly lower than its historical rate, but it's significantly lower than indicated by the current value we have today, which is a little over 400 parts per million. Now from here the Earth is going to experience some relatively stable temperatures. Temperature will remain level even though geologically based upon the Earth's orbit around the Sun the Earth should have begun a cooling period around about here. It is thought that because human beings have been adding carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, it forestalled the next onset of glaciers. That is actually helping us experience a more milder climate than we normally would have. And I mentioned that because during the last 1,000 years of this period, which is not shown well on this chart, but during that period of time the Earth's recent climate experienced a warming period and then a very cold period lasting 400 years, which is known as the Little Ice Age, where literally it was snowing in many mild parts of the world during the summertime. So we'll go ahead and finish our walk towards the present and we'll end up at the beginning. Note that Earth's temperature today is only 1 degree Fahrenheit higher than the statistical average we've been using for this whole project. Sea level is only about 8 inches higher in the present than what it was in 1900. But carbon dioxide has seen a spike. But the spike in carbon dioxide is not reflected at all by any instantaneous change in either temperature or sea level.